Leading with a Moral Compass. This is for AEP855, and I am Karen Gunther. We looked at several different resources, particularly about defining what a moral compass is, how it affects our lives, how it is developed. Having a moral compass means knowing where your boundaries are in relation to what's right and wrong, knowing where you want to go and how you intend to behave in situations will allow you the calmness to react or make decisions based on your values and morals instead of making split decisions or snap decisions in the middle of chaos. It keeps you from losing your way. It keeps you from getting lost. Morals and values can be also guided by our emotions. More specifically, those are called moral emotions. We think of those as guilt, shame, empathy, kindness, leading by example. We tend to react emotionally to others' opinions of us, for instance, feeling shame or guilt, and therefore it helps us develop our moral compass. We also tend to act different ways when we see other people being empathetic or showing kindness or being deserving of kindness and empathy, then that also helps develop our moral compass. By using empathy in our lives, we develop our own set of values and put others first, treat others as we would like to be treated. Keeping our moral compass in sight keeps us on the right path to treating others with kindness and respect. And according to Orchard, a man cannot agree what is right or wrong or how right will interfere with their own designs if they don't recognize a complete authority to morals and values. His argument is that there cannot be a religious authority because there are too many different points of views, and until man actually recognizes only one authority or one religion as the all-knowing determination of what is right or wrong, then we can't agree on morals and all have the moral compass that we need. This is my moral compass. I think the thing, usually when you look at a compass, you see arrows pointing out in north, south, east, and west directions. For me, every direction should be pointed to the center. It's what centers me, what is my my calmness, my guiding principles, and that would have to be my Christian faith. There were particularly 4 areas of my life that I wanted to recognize that are led by my moral compass, and that would be my work life, my family life, my how I respect or treat others, and then my own personal values. So my work ethic, I think the moral compass or my Christian faith would probably guide me in showing a sense of responsibility and being consistently dependable and showing up for work on time. And I know it would be hard to think of that as being faith-based, but it does. I think the consistency and the responsibility and the dependability are all values of a good and kind and respectful person. My traditional family values, I think, would have to be also guided by my moral compass. Monogamy, faithfulness, loyalty, being a caretaker. Our family lives aren't always perfect, but we always try and do our best for our family. Respect for others is also something that my moral compass guides me in. Being patient, providing service to others, being accepting of diversity and other people's values and their moral compass as well. And then my own personal values of or sense of integrity, my morals, um, being honest, being truthful, being trustworthy, and being able to trust others are all things that I feel are guided or part of my moral compass. Here are my references. And the standard for this assignment was to understand and demonstrate the capacity to model ethical behavior in personal conduct and relationships and to cultivate ethical behavior in others. The standard correlation for me is by understanding and modeling ethical behavior, we can solidify our moral compass, which can guide and compel others to act accordingly. Emotions guide our morals by feelings of shame and empathy, and which can in turn cultivate ethical behavior in others. So we want to act good when we see other people acting good. This is relevant to me because developing and living by my own moral compass can help me model ethical behavior and cultivate ethical behavior in others, particularly in times of stress or chaos. If you have a set of guidelines or if you have something that's guiding you, you're more likely to behave appropriately. And as educational leaders, we're often looked at as role models and should behave as such. Reflecting on this assignment, or reflecting on what my own morals are, what guides me, what helps me stay on track, will in the future, the more I'm aware of my own morals and my own moral compass and where I want to be and how I want to get there, the more it will help me make decisions that can impact the lives of students and stakeholders. Providing guidance and modeling behavior in turn will allow me to put others first and conduct myself with integrity and therefore influence the moral behavior of other people.